You don't control what happens, but this can change your life. Have you ever had a day ruined by something beyond your control? The traffic that made you late? The message you were waiting for but never came? The boss who treated you poorly? It feels like the world is against you. And when that happens, you feel anger, frustration, anxiety. But what if I told you that the problem isn't what happens, but how you react? The Stoics discovered a principle that can completely transform the way you see life. You don't control what happens, but you control how you react. If you understand this, nothing can shake you. And at the end of this video, I'll teach you a practical exercise to apply this idea and become unshakable. So stay with me until the end. The mistake almost everyone makes. Most people live as if the world should adjust to their desires. They expect others to treat them well. They expect life to be fair. They expect things to go as planned. But reality is relentless. Traffic doesn't disappear just because you're in a hurry. People don't always act the way you want. Unexpected events will happen, and when things don't go as expected, most people react poorly. They get irritated, complain, and blame others. They waste energy fighting reality. They suffer over things they cannot change. But in the end, they remain in the same place. What if I told you there's another way to live? What do the Stoics teach us? Seneca once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters." This means that the problem is never the event itself, but how you interpret and react to it. Think about it. You can't stop someone from criticizing you, but you can decide not to let it affect you and keep moving forward. You can't prevent a problem from arising, but you can choose to face it with calmness and rationality. You can't change the past, but you can choose what you do now. The Stoics believed that the only things we truly control are our minds, our actions, and our reactions. And the sooner you accept this, the freer you will be. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I apply this in real life? A Stoic technique to apply this in real life. The next time something irritates you, do the following. Stop for a moment. Instead of reacting automatically, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, accept it and move on. If it is, then act, but rationally without letting emotions take over. This sounds simple, but most people never ask themselves this question. Let's look at an example. You miss a flight. You could scream, curse the airline, stress out, but does that change anything? No. So accept it and use that extra time to do something useful. Your boss was rude. You could get upset and let it ruin your day. Or you could understand that the problem is theirs, not yours, and keep working without taking it personally. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You could honk, yell, lose your patience, or you could simply ignore it and keep driving peacefully. Which is the smarter choice? Your peace is worth more than any external event. An inspiring example. Now I want you to think about the great leaders and people you admire. Are they the ones who panic in the face of problems, or the ones who stay calm and act wisely? Let me give you an example. Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years unjustly imprisoned. Most people would come out full of hatred and a thirst for revenge. But Mandela chose to focus on what he could control, his attitude and actions. He left prison and unified a country because he understood that clinging to the past was useless. This is Stoicism in action. Now, apply this to your own life. What is consuming you today? What is beyond your control that you keep fighting against? Maybe it's time to let go of that weight. Life will always bring challenges, but remember, what happens to you is not as important as how you respond to it. You can complain, resist, and suffer. Or you can accept, act, and move forward. And the choice is yours alone. Now, I want to know, what situation in your life could change if you applied this advice? Comment below, and if this video made sense to you, like it and subscribe to the channel. Because in the end, the only thing you truly control is yourself.